is Jolene Stevens and I'm with goMagic, and today I want to talk to you about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the new land in Disneyland. It will soon be open in Disney World also, but yesterday I got a sneak peek of the one in Disneyland, which I have to say was pretty spectacular. And I just wanted to share kind of what we saw and my thoughts on it with you, as I'm sure some of you are fans and are looking to go and are excited to go there. I'll give you a little bit of some tips too. So first, I just want to say, I am kind of the average Star Wars fan. I've seen the movies, some of them multiple times, but I don't have a huge knowledge of it, but I do have an appreciation. So I'm curious, for those of you who are big Star Wars fans, what you think. So I'd love to hear from you once you go. So first things first, I will tell you that with this kind of sneak peek that I got, I'm assuming that the number of people that were in the land were much less than what we will be seeing in the first weeks and months of it being open. So my experience as far as lines and as far as all of that is not really relevant, but I will tell you the land is huge. I saw a picture the other day of a cast member photo that was by the Millennium Falcon, and I was like, ooh, that's a really small space. That is just one pathway in this gigantic land. So I was really surprised when I got there. And actually, to be honest, there was times where I was like, where exactly am I right now? Because it is so big and there are lots of like little alleyways and that sort of thing. So first things first, though, I think what you all probably want to know is about Smugglers Run. That is the only attraction that is open there now. Rise of the Resistance will hopefully be open sometime later this year. They're still working on that. But Smugglers Run is the one that you go into the Millennium Falcon and you fly, basically. So there are 6 positions in that attraction. There's 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and then 2 engineers. What I will say is I did not do the engineer position, but my husband has done the engineer position when he wrote it another time. And this is my review on that. If you are going to stand in line for a couple of hours to go on this attraction, what I would say is, in my opinion, I would choose the pilot or the gunner position, because the Millennium Falcon, they did a great job. It's so authentic and, it feels so real. But that means that the engineers are all the way in the back. And so, as many of you know, on the Millennium Falcon, the windows and the areas where you look out are kind of more up towards the pilot and not really back by those engineer positions. So I think that what the engineers see isn't as great as what the pilots are, who are sitting right there in front of those windows. I will tell you, I did both the pilot and the gunner position. I did the pilot position twice. And what I will say is I really liked the pilot position best. And I think that was just because I could see everything and it seemed very real. And I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but it's true. Anyways, but the other part of it is I did the gunner position. I'm just not a big, shoot 'em up kind of person. So that was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm hitting this button, whatever. There is, though, 2 different ways that you can do the gunner position. There's a manual and there's an automatic. The automatic will kind of register where you want the lasers to go. But the other, but the manual, you have a kind of like middle up and down button that you also control. So there's a decent amount of flexibility in that position. The pilot positions, one will move left and right and one will move up and down. The one that goes up and down also takes you to hyperspeed, which is kind of fun. Anyways, but so there's a bunch of different things that you need to do while you are flying the Millennium Falcon. And for me, someone asked me if it was astounding. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it was astounding. my thing is it's fun. I laughed, and so if I'm laughing during an attraction, you know it's good because like I'm really enjoying it. And I got a real kick out of this. But I don't think that it doesn't surpass anything else that I've ever seen. You know, I do think that there are attractions out there that are actually more compelling and interesting than this. But that being said, I do think that it is worth, you know, going on. I will tell you the queue for this line though, you will not be disappointed, fans. This is like you get into the Millennium Falcon and it's like you're there. It looks like a movie set. It looks exactly like what you would imagine. And so that part of it, I think we all sometimes want to step into the movies, and this ride delivers that in great portions. So from that standpoint, I do think the queue and the experience going through the actual ship is really, really cool, and that part of it I really liked. So that is, I mean, Smugglers Run was great. But it wasn't the greatest ride that I've ever ridden. And if you were to ask me what the greatest ride I've ever ridden, that would be hard. You know, that's a hard one. I have to say, Escape from Gringotts, to me, Universal, that's a really good ride. But I think from the standpoint of Disney rides, I think I like Mission Breakout better than Smugglers Run. But the Mission Breakout's music is awesome, and you know, getting those big drops is really fun. But that's my preference. That's why I said I cannot wait for a super fan to go on it and tell me, nope, Jolene, because of the atmosphere, because of the fact that you're in it, that makes all the difference, and that makes it an amazing and an astonishing ride. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your feedback is. The other things that I will tell you, so the cantina. So this this is I think right now is the only place that you can get alcohol in Disneyland. And so the lines were very, very long. Now, I think that there's two things there. One, I think maybe people wanted a drink, but two, I think that I heard we did not go in because I had two little ones in tow. I'll be back in a couple weeks to give you the full lowdown on that. But I think the other reason is that from what we heard from the people who did go into the canteen is that, again, it was so real and it was so down to all the details, and the bartenders are really great and they're really funny. They don't actually mix drinks there. Everything's pre-mixed, and so it's like you choose from only certain amounts. I think there's a max of 2 drinks and that you only can be in there 45 minutes, but I'm not sure exactly how they time that. So that could be interesting. Anyways, other places, Ronto Roasters and Docking Bay 7. We went to Docking Bay 7 for lunch, and I have to say, I'm gluten-free, and so the amount of options there was like very, very small. But what I did get, and I couldn't, it was like a hummus plate. It was good. It was not, it was rather small though. So, my kids loved one of my kids got mac and cheese and a chicken finger kind of plate, and the other one got a shrimp and noodles plate, which he really liked. And then my husband got the ribs, which he said were awesome. So it's a small place, and so from a standpoint of occupancy, I would definitely go early or off times, because noon, 1 o'clock is going to be crazy there. So that's one thing to also think about. The marketplace. Okay, so this is where I think Disney has upped their game big time. And I think for the fans, it's going to, they're going to feel like, wow, this was really great. Which was that the marketplace. Okay, so actually, no, I'm going to tell you one of my biggest complaints, or not biggest complaints, my biggest kudos to Universal Studios and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is that when you go into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, everything is exactly what it should be in there. So when you go into one of the stores, it's all Hogwarts and Slytherin and, you know, all of these things that would be in those stores. Like you go into the candy store, it's all the candy that you would find in the movie. So, you know, and so from that standpoint, I really felt like when Universal did the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, they kicked everything up a notch because it was so immersive. And I think with Galaxy's Edge, Disney has finally gotten that. No, when you go into the store, you don't want the Disney garb. You want the Star Wars garb. And so the marketplace has so many items that I've never seen. So many items that are just, it's incredible. It really, like, there's really interesting things that you can buy. You know, and for example, all of the musical instruments that you see in the cantina that are being played, you can buy like toy ones of those. And that's really cool. And there's these little, there's like a toy shop. There's a Batu toy shop, you know, and from my standpoint, I'm like, this is brilliant. Like, this is the stuff that you would get in the marketplace. So I loved that part of it. I really do think that they've kicked things up a notch. There was also, and I'm sorry, it's totally escaping my head, the Antiquities store. Somebody will know the answer to that. What's the name of it? We went in and we got a Jedi holocron, and that is, maybe you guys have seen these. So what it is that you can purchase this box, and what it does, hang on, is that you twist that and you twist, oh, hang on, you twist, yep. And it lights up. It makes all these like sounds, which sounds very like, you know, this is the real deal. But the other thing you can do is you can buy, so this is like lights up blue, it's not lit up anymore, but the Kyber crystal. So these are also, I think these are also in the lightsabers that you can do. My little one, my little girl wanted this box, which was $50. And this little crystal that goes in it, when you open it up, it is this purple crystal. And then you can put it in this. Let me show you. It has a little, and you put it in there. And hang on, let me twist, because, oh, there we go. And now it turns purple. But with this, does it just make noise? It gives you like a little...
Never use the force to settle negotiations. That's mistaking power for justice.
So there's all sorts of little things like that. Little words of wisdom, as you might say, that you get with different crystals. So this was a really neat sort of thing. I do think that it's a tiny bit overpriced. But, you know, my little girl wanted it and we went to the opening, so we had to get it. The other thing that we went to is we went to the droid workshop, and we got a little BB-8. And so this is, my son built this. My son's 8 and wanted to build BB-8. It came in like 4 or 5 different parts. And it actually works. If you saw the little video that I did yesterday at Disneyland, it shows this rolling around. It's really cute and it's really cool. This was $100. They do have personality chips that you can also put them. I think it's another $15 or something like that. That will, I'm sure, pick up the next time we're there. But it was a really neat experience. I was not ready for the $200 lightsaber experience, although there were a lot of people there doing it who loved it. And I think that if you're a super fan, like, that's a really neat thing to engage with. If you also saw, if I'm friends with you on Facebook, I talked about the milk stand because I was like, who has a milk stand with non-dairy, fruit juices? But we went there because I was curious, and they had this blue and this green sort of milk. Again, I'm sure a reference to the movies, but They're made out of coconut and rice milk, so it is a milk stand, and they tasted kind of like tropical. I'm sure there was it was like a coconut, maybe pineapple or something like that, sort of tastings. Everybody loved them. I love them. My kids love them, and that was a great thing. I will say there was some really great live entertainment. You know, of course, the first order was going around. My son loved. Pretending to hide from all the stormtroopers and hiding in little places and that sort of stuff. And it was really cool because one of the cast members actually kind of noticed this and was like, "Are you part of the resistance?" And the great thing is that she ended up going and getting someone from the resistance, and like that person was like, "Okay, I really need your help. We need to look out, you know, as Chewie's working on these you know, things back here. Make sure if you keep a lookout, and if you see somebody, you know, if you see me, let me know," you know. And it was great. So that's the other thing about this land, is it is super immersive, and they have lots of street atmosphere, that the characters that are in character. But also, I loved that when we were talking, my daughter had a Mulan dress on yesterday as we go to the park, and people were like, "Wow, you look like a princess. Who are you?" These are the cast members. And I was like, "Oh, she's a descendant from Princess Amidala." And they're like, "We don't know her. She must be very powerful." You know, and it was great. She loved it. Everybody ate it up. And they will ask you what planet you are from. So make sure that you have your planet. Also, to say hello, you say bright suns, and that means good day. So that's my kind of review of Star Wars Land. We had a blast, and I think that for you Star Wars fan, I don't think that you'll be disappointed. I do think that it is a solid experience. Certainly being able to walk into what feels like the world of Star Wars. Disney has done a phenomenal job down to all the details. Oh, one thing that I will say though is the doors to the shops. So like the droid shop and to this antiquities place, and you know, all of these places, some of them are not obvious. I really felt was like, is that a cast member door? Or is that like a door that I can go through? Or like, it was really, I did not feel like, other than the cantina that had like this big image of like a drink, I did not know. I was like, what, you know, I'm not sure. So just know that. So you know, poke around, and you know, if it's something that says automatic door, know that you can go in and go check it out. So that's it. All right. I hope this was helpful. All right. Have a great Sunday, and we'll get some pictures soon, right? Bye.